come back together and do this together. We had a great run, but I knew I didn't want to come back alone if I didn't have those guys there with me. So it was huge that we all got to do it together.
What do you guys eat at?
We actually ate so long, so
okay.
I think that was BB's choice.
So that's where the dominoes fell, right there.
That was definitely the start of it. We had our first conversation there, and that would have been the Sunday after we won the Big 12. So there was still a lot of emotions. We had to wait a little bit and kind of feel some things out and let the dust settle after that game and get into bowl prep. But yeah, that was where it started.
What's the go-to at so?
I get the buffalo chicken wrap, but I'm a big so long guy. I think they got great burgers, but I like their wrap.
What's been the anticipation level just for this spring? And obviously this season is more important, but you got to get into spring first.
Yeah. We set the standard high, and last year was kind of the groundwork and the foundation. Now that we kind of had a winner, we kind of have, okay, this is what it looks like. This is what we need to do. Here's the framework of what we need to have success. That's the standard. And now everything we did last year is just the minimum. We know that we can ramp it up from there. We got more. We can do more this winter. We can do more this spring. And we're not installing base install. We're cleaning up things that we had this past season because fortunately we bring a lot of guys back and we have a ton of experience. So it's cool that you can build and you don't have to go back to day one. But the standard's high.
What are your personal objectives?
For me, I got a ton to prove. Last year I was just coming onto the scene and I was building confidence and everything was new. And I mean, the first 3 games I was figuring out if I could play. And I was able to have success this year. And now I know the sky's the limit. And I got the confidence that I needed last year. Now it's like, okay, where can I build? I'm not just staying alive out here. I'm dominating. I'm having success and doing the best I can do.
Should you guys be considered one of the best offensive lines in the Big 12 next year?
That's a statement that we're wanting to make as a group. We know that we can be the best. We can be one of the best offensive lines in the country. But with that comes work. And we know the goals that we have as a unit. And we know that it's going to take a lot of work to get there, and it's not going to happen overnight.
What's it like blocking for a stud like Will Howard?
Will's awesome. We all feed off of Will, and he's one of our best friends. We hang out all the time. So just the energy and I think the looseness that Will brings, it's a special group. Will's a lighthearted, fun guy to be around, but you also know that he's going to lay it out there for you, and we're going to do the same for him. But he brings an interesting dynamic that you usually don't have as a quarterback, which is the lightness that Will has. He's a special dude.
What's that competition level mean?
What's that?
What does the competition level mean?
Everyone needs pushed. And with everyone coming back, there's a lot of room for growth, and those young guys are continuing to compete. They're going to have a great spring. They're going to push us. I want guys to compete with me, and it's across the room. It's everywhere on the team like that, though. We got receivers that are competing for spots, safeties, DBs, everywhere. And competition is ultimately what's going to push the team forward.
How odd is it to not see Deuce Vaughn around Veneer anymore, besides being quieter, I'm sure?
Yeah, it's definitely, there's kind of a space without him. Deuce always brought like the same lighthearted goofiness, and if you're having a bad day, you know Deuce would be there to smile and pick it up. But it's exciting to see what Deuce is doing and to see him on TV. And I don't know if you guys saw that commercial. That's Deuce. Deuce is one of the hardest workers I knew, and no one better for the spotlight and the coverage that he's getting. Deuce Vaughn is the man, and he's worked for it. He's proved it. So.
Where do you think you can improve the most at center?
Yeah. I think at the point of attack, one of my big goals this offseason is just continue to increase strength in my upper body. I move well, and that's kind of one of my assets, I guess, my go-to. I like to get out in space and move, but at the point of attack, versus those big noses, just getting movement inside. I'm anticipating to play a little bit heavier this year. Last year, once the season got going, I was kind of about 280, and I didn't ever get my weight back up, and right now I'm about 295. So I'm looking to play a little bit heavier, but keep the same speed and athleticism that I try to play with.
And who would you say is the funniest member of your offensive line?
Man, there's a lot of funny guys. Kind of just depends on the day. That's what's great is it's not just one guy, but anybody can bring something at any time. Those young guys, they're a great group of guys. I'm sure you guys haven't got to talk to them yet, but they have some good personalities and they bring a lot to the table. So you'll enjoy getting to know them.
What level of discussion has Connor Riley had with those young guys as far as kind of biding their time before they get into the fold?
Yeah, just like he told me a few years ago, he said the time is now, and it's their job to push and fight and scrap, and we want more depth. We want guys to be able to play. We always say we want to play 8, 9, 10 guys. be able to get a break. It's a long season, and I'm sure you guys saw that in our play or after OU. I mean, we took 80 some offensive snaps. So the more that we can get guys to help us out, and those guys are competing and grinding to take my spot, and that's the nature of the game, and that's what's going to push us forward.